We turn now to that horrific attack inside a Nashville area movie theater. Moviegoers in shock as a man who appeared to be carrying a real gun began attacking them with a hatchet and pepper spray. Within minutes, he would be shot to death by police. Police say Vicente David Montano pointed this gun at them, pulling the trigger. Well, it turns out it wasn't a real weapon, but it was a pellet gun, and it sure looked like a real weapon, right? Montano's mother says he had a long history with mental illness. He'd been committed at least 3 times. The man he struck with a hatchet, offering this prayer moments after he was attacked.
I'm eternally grateful, excuse me, for Metro Police Department for their fast response today, and the fact that no one else got injured other than the person who did this. I would ask anyone to pray for his family because he obviously has some mental problems or something else.
Nick Valencia is in Nashville this morning with more. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Carol. Police here in Nashville being praised for their actions in preventing an incident that certainly could have been much worse. At about 1 p.m. on Wednesday, the suspect, identified as 29-year-old Vicente David Montano, came into this movie theater. He purchased a ticket, and then he proceeded to carry out his attack. He was armed with a pellet gun, an axe, and also wearing a surgical mask, presumably to protect himself from the pepper spray he used to douse the patrons inside. Some of those frantic moments captured on 911 audio tape.
So I was in the movie theater, like literally a minute or two ago, and this guy, this shady-looking guy, stood up with like eggs, and he walked towards the back of the theater, and he pulled out a hatchet and started attacking this family, and then he pulled out a gun, and we all ran out of the theater.
According to police, Montano has a lengthy history of mental health issues, being committed in mental health institutions at least 4 times since 2004. Police say they believe he was homeless. We just got off the phone with the Nashville Rescue Mission, who tell us that he has a record of being checked in there a couple of days ago, but no record of him staying overnight. As recently as Monday, his mother filed a missing persons report telling authorities that her son was a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic and, quote, had a hard time taking care of himself. Police here in Nashville, well, they're still working on a motive here. Carol?
All right, Nick Valencia reporting live from Nashville this morning. Thank you. It does make you wonder, though, is it safe to go to a movie? This happened right on the heels of what happened in Lafayette, Louisiana. Here to talk about that is Matthew Horace, a former ATF executive and former police officer. Matthew, welcome.
Good morning.
So I wanted to talk to you because I want you to put this into perspective for us. Should we be afraid to go to the movie?
Well, I don't think we should be afraid to go to movies, but we should be aware of the current climate. As security professionals and practitioners, it's our job to assess the vulnerabilities of facilities and then create security plans that make sense to clients and make sense to the public. Everyone wants to feel safe when they go in movie theaters or other places.
Okay, so that's what you do for a living right now. So how do you do that in a movie theater?
Well, remember, security is a very touchy business. It's something everyone wants, but someone has to fund. And I don't know if America is ready yet for magnetometers as you go into movie theaters, if they're ready for screening processes as you do that. I don't know. Most movie theaters have police officers that work Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, high volume times. A lot of movie theaters employ the use of private security. But right now, I think America is going to take a good hard look at strengthening these soft targets.
Yeah, well, is a way to strengthen a soft target like a movie theater, you know, to somebody search your bag? I mean, I can't even imagine that, but should movie theaters do that?
If you think about it, look how far we've come since 9/11. I mean, could we have ever imagined in a million years taking off our shoes and belts before we go through security checkpoints at airports? So it very well may, in fact, be the answer at some point. We have to reconsider our security. And also, remember this, as we change our targets from soft to hard, it leaves other soft targets vulnerable for things just like this.
Okay, so there has been a suggestion that maybe people should be allowed to take guns into movie theaters. Is that a good idea?
That is absolutely not the answer in my view, because just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're trained how to use a gun.
And it's a dark theater, and let's face it, if somebody attacks somebody, it's difficult to get your bearings, right? You're watching a movie.
It is absolutely difficult.
It's dark in the theater.
Absolutely, 100%. And if you look at what happened yesterday, the Nashville Metro Police Department responded, but they train for incidents just like this. They're a full-time team. They know what to do. They have the process down. And if you look at the way that scene developed yesterday, it developed flawlessly. The police officers did exactly what they were trained to do and what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, there were hero officers involved, right? They kind of corralled him in a certain area, and then there was a a gunfight, although we later find out this guy's gun wasn't real, which was strange, right? The whole thing's strange.
The whole thing's very strange, but now it's coming out that he may have had some mental issues, as in so many other cases. You and I were here 2 weeks ago, and we were here 2 weeks before that. Too little, too late. It's becoming too often.
Matthew Horace, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
And good morning. I'm Carol Custer.